Sardinia is known for many things. One of them being that there is a blue zone here in Sardinia. Now, blue zones are where people live longer than normal, approaching even over 100 years old. Now, one of the downsides to these blue zones is that there are a lot of cities that are depopulating. People are dying off and young people aren't coming back in. And we're walking through one of these cities now. The residents that I saw were older. Probably upwards of 90 to 100 years old. The young people, well, let's just say I was one of the youngest there. Churches of the past that are empty courtyards just bask in the sun. Church bells don't ring though. These are now just places of prayer where the current residents can go in and pray if they want to. This town was so beautiful though, and clean, with clean streets. There was bars everywhere. There was people at the bars having their morning drink. It was so awesome. But as I was wandering through these streets, I was wondering, what makes this area of the world such an epic area where people can outlive the average life duration? Is it the air? Is it the water? Is it the day drinking? What is it? What makes people happy and full of life? Could it be the proximity to nature? Curling your toes in the dirt and hugging trees and getting all sorts of dirt and everything else all over your clothes before you go to bed? Scientists could think so. Could it be walking on paths out in the open with goats and having conversations with these little guys, laughing at them, taking photos with them? Maybe. It could also be the fresh sun. Look how happy these guys are. I'd live to 110 if I were this happy too, just wandering in the road. Could it be religion being practiced out in the open air? Or a form of meditation being practiced in arid fields? Maybe it's the appreciation for small things, like a drink of water. Hi, little guy. Or maybe it's the purity that has been here for tens of thousands of years. And this is where we'll dive in to where we're going today, Nuraghi. So Nuraghi was an establishment that was only recently found in the early 1980s. Nuraghi di Barumini is an establishment that was built on this hill. And what we see here today was built in 5000 BC. So this structure lived for a very long time. Walls were 5 feet thick with iron in between. This was an old little well that holds some water. And long before bronze and iron, all of these stones were brought in from somewhere. We don't know very much about these people today. We do know they were farmers, and we do know they had a religion. We also know that only the most important people lived near this tallest tower. And how do we know that? Well, walking through these old streets where so many stories have been told, so many thousands of years of first the Nuraghi, then the Phoenicians, and then the Romans. What is the story behind these people, and why is no one here anymore? Why is the blue zone literally just next door to this? And this is empty, with no writing, very few artifacts, and very few relics of the past life. With blue skies all around. Just imagine how it must have been thousands of years ago. children playing in the garden, religious ceremonies going on, all around a massive tower in the middle. And what do I mean by religion? Well, we know that there was a pagan religion ongoing in this area. This is how it looked from the very tallest of the towers. You could see the establishments, and below in this dark hole lived what all of these people were guarding. The purpose of this tower lies in this dark unknown down these very skinny stairs. So let's get down there. And while I don't have a photo to show you exactly what it was, because I couldn't take a photo of it, what was down here behind all of these stairs and everything else was this really, really deep water well. What we think today is that the Nuraghi people were guarding water, as that was probably their most valuable resource, especially this deep in the island. We believe that water was one of the things they celebrated, and in each of their houses there was a little sauna type establishment where you would heat water. The water would fill a room and you would sit on a bench around a center idol full of water. So as we enter the deepmost part of the establishment, in front of us here, see the water well. Around the water well, there are 4 guard towers, all still standing today. And here we're in one of them where you can see where different torches were kept. These were multiple floors high, and while there are stairs to go climb up in them, it's not really safe for tourists to do it, so we don't do that. While the Nuraghi originally built this to likely protect the water well inside, whenever the Romans took over, they used this entire establishment as a fort and as a burial area. And I have a whole nother video about that, so I'm not going to go into that. And with that, I think it's really interesting that maybe the Blue Zone exists because the Nuraghi people of the past were so simplistic and down to earth in what they believed was important: water and fire. And maybe we have it all wrong in today's society. Maybe if we just narrowed everything down to exactly what we need in life, water and fire, and protect that with our life, we too could live beyond 100 years old. And maybe the entire world could become a blue zone. Or maybe not. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this little exploration of a blue zone city and of the Nuraghi to Barmu Mini. Join me next time as we'll be exploring a different part of the world. Ciao.